Hello, scientists! It's so good to see you again. Welcome back to Room 9, our region's largest classroom. My name is Mrs. Stobbs, and I teach kindergarten in the Maplewood-Richmond Heights School District right here in St. Louis. And today I'll be teaching a science lesson for kindergartners and for preschoolers, but of course, learners of all ages are welcome to join me. So let's get started and learn a little bit more about science. All right, now my friends, last week we learned all about a very special type of scientist. Do you remember the name of that scientist? We learned about engineers. Engineers are so important to our world. Do you know why? What do engineers do? I heard a few of you, but I think some of you may have forgotten. Engineers, this is very important. They look around our world and they look for problems. Whenever they see a problem, they think, how can I solve that problem? And then they design and build things to solve that problem. Is that an important job? Oh my goodness, yes. Engineers have a very important job. Now, at the end of last week, I gave you kind of a silly problem to solve. Remember, I said I want to think about something that I can design and build to help my little dog, Oliver, move on his own or move a little bit more easily. Maybe not on his own, but a little bit more easily. Because I said I didn't want to have to throw him or slide him, but I wanted to design something that I could use to help push or pull him. And I even thought about maybe using something with wheels. So I still want to build and design and then build something to help Oliver move around. But you know what? I think we need to learn a little bit more about how things move. Can you think about how do you move different things around your house? And remember, we're thinking about things that are not living, things that can't move on their own. So how do you move different things around your house? Well, what about my chair? If I wanted to move my chair so I can get up, because right now I'm kind of stuck, and I have a table in front of me, so I can't move. I can't get up. What if I wanted to get up? What would I have to do? I would have to, I see a lot of you saying push, push, push. I would have to push myself away from the table, and then I can use my legs and push myself up to standing. You're right. So I used a push to move this chair. Now this chair is actually on wheels, so it moves a little bit easier. What if I wanted to move myself back in closer to the camera and closer to the table? Oh, I see a lot of you going, pull, pull. So you're right, I will pull my chair back in, and now I'm sitting closer to you. Wow, have you ever heard those words before? Have you ever heard of a push and a pull? Can you show me that? Can you show me a push? Push, 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 push. Now can you show me a pull? Pull, 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 pull. You're right. Those are ways that we can move things around. You can give something a push to get it away from you, or you can use a pull to bring something closer to you. So let's think about some different movements that we do every day and think about, is that a push or is that a pull? Okay, so let's start with, pretend like you're opening up a door for me. Can you open up a door? I'm going to grab the handle, and what am I going to do? Sometimes you pull the door to open it up, but sometimes you push the door to open it up. So you opening up a door requires a push or a pull. Even thinking about the handle, whenever you twist the handle, you're pushing down or you might be pulling up. So opening up a door has a lot of pushes and pulls. What about if you are throwing a ball? If you're playing catch, can you pretend to throw a ball for me? What did you do? You just pushed that ball really fast away from you and it went flying away. What about if you were on the other side and you were catching the ball? What would you do? You would hold it, you would hold up your hands, and then whenever the ball came to you, you would pull it towards you. So whenever you're playing ball, you have pushes and pulls. What about if you were kicking? Can you stand up and show me how you would kick a ball? Wow, look at you. And what are you doing? Are you using your foot to pull the ball towards you? Or are you using your foot to kick it away, to push it away? It's a push. So whenever you are kicking a ball, you are pushing. So many different ways to push and pull. Ooh, I have another good one. What if you were playing on the playground and you wanted to swing? Show me how you would swing. I'm going to pretend to. I'm going to pull myself and then push away. Pull and push. Pull and push. And even with your legs, whenever you bend your legs back towards you, you're pulling and then you push them away. Pushes and pulls help the swing move. Oh my goodness. What about this one? Watch me. It's going to be kind of hard to see and I'll have to kind of scrunch down. Jumping. What do you do whenever you jump? Can you jump for me? You are pushing. You're pushing yourself away from the floor. And that's the way that you jump. Oh my goodness. So pushes and pulls are so important. Can you think of another way that you move something by using a push or a pull? Tell somebody that you're sitting by right now. Listen. I just heard someone say that they pull their wagon. That's a great one. You pull a wagon. Let me see. Somebody just said that they push their little brother on their tricycle. A push. So sometimes whenever you do have things with wheels, like a wagon or a tricycle, you use a pull or you use a push. Wowee! Pushes and pulls are so important, and they really help us move things from place to place. Now, my friends, I have another book for you. And books are so important because they help us learn more information. Now, I know you guys have a lot of experience with pushes and pulls. You use them every day, all the time. But let's read to see what scientists say about pushes and pulls. So this book is called Pushing and Pulling, and it's by Natalie Hyde. Pushing and Pulling. What game are they playing? They're playing tug of war. Have you ever played tug of war before? The whole point of tug of war is that you are trying to pull people over to your side. Or maybe you have played tug of war with your dog before. I do that with Oliver. Sometimes Oliver and I will pull back and forth on one of his toys. So Pushing and Pulling. And this book is published by Crabtree Publishing Company, and they gave me permission to read this book to you. Pushing and Pulling. Oh, here's that table of contents again. We've learned a lot about that over the last few months, where a table of contents will show us where we need to look to find different things in the book. But let's keep reading. What is motion? That's the heading of this page. What is motion? Motion, oh, look at that bold word. That means it's important. Motion is movement. When something moves, it is in motion. There are things moving around you everywhere you look. Planes fly through the air, water flows down a stream, and people dance. Oh, let's have a little dance party right now. Boop, 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 boop. So fun. There are many kinds of motion. Objects can spin, slide, jump, bounce, rock, and swing. Let's try those motions. Can you spin for me? Ooh. Can you slide? Maybe if you're on hardwood floor or tile, you can slide in your socks. I like to do that. Can you jump? Can you bounce? It's kind of the same way, but maybe doing it over and over. Can you rock? Or can you swing? Or you can swing your arms around. Swing. What is a force? Things cannot move on their own. It takes a force to make them move. A force, and that's a big, bold word right there. That's an important science word. A force is a push or a pull that creates motion. So what's a force? Good, it's a push or a pull that creates motion. This wagon will not move without a force. So what force do we need to make it move? Maybe you would pull the handle, or maybe you'd push on the back. We cannot see a force. We can only see it work. Wind pushes the water on top of a lake. We cannot see the wind, but we can see the waves it makes. What else do you see the wind moving in this picture? I see it moving that sail, and it's moving the boat. Is it a push or a pull? A push and a pull are two kinds of forces. A push and a pull are opposites. Can you think of another opposite? Maybe big and small? Maybe hot and cold? Good job. A push moves something away from you. You push a ball when you throw it. A pull moves something closer to you. You pull on your socks when you get dressed. What do you think? Is this girl using a push or a pull to move the wagon? How do you know? She's pulling it because she's moving it closer to her. Parts for pushing. You push things using different parts of your body. You use your hands to push a friend on the swing. You use your feet you push your feet against the ground when you walk, run, or jump. Things can push us too. A strong wind pushing against you makes it harder to walk. A strong wave can push you over at the beach. Is it still a push? That's what this says. Is it still a push? Any action that moves an object away from you is a push. Kicking, blowing, and sliding are pushing actions. You kick a soccer ball with your foot to push it down the field. You push air out of your mouth to blow out candles. Have any of you had a birthday recently? Did you blow or push out air to blow out candles? You might have. What do you think? Is this girl using a push or a pull to hit the tennis ball? How do you know? What do you think? She's using a push with her tennis racket because it's shoving the ball away from her. Give it a pull. You use a pulling force every day. You pull down a string to open the window blinds. You pull up weeds when you help in the garden. Have any of you helped in the garden recently and you have to pull up weeds or sometimes even pull up a flower? Things pull on us too. Gravity, look at that big word, that big bold word, gravity. Does anybody know what gravity is? It's a force that pulls things toward the earth. No matter how high you jump, gravity will always pull you back toward the ground. If we didn't have gravity, we'd float around in the air, but gravity is always pulling on us. Lift, a push or a pull. Lifting something brings something closer to you. It is a pulling force. You lift a glass to your mouth to drink. You lift a weight to exercise. Can you show me your big muscles? Pretend like you're lifting a weight. Ooh. Ooh. That's a lift. It's a pull. You're bringing it closer to you. What do you think? This boy used a pulling force to lift the puppy. What force will he use to put the puppy back down on the ground? How do you know? So he lifted up the puppy to hold it. But whenever he puts it down, what's he going to do? He's going to gently push it down to the ground. He's not going to push it hard, but he's gently going to lower it down. And that's kind of a push. And it's also using gravity to kind of help you too. Changing direction. Oh, this is fun. A push or a pull can change the direction of a moving object. Hitting a volleyball that's moving toward you makes the ball go in another direction. So pretend a ball is coming towards you and then push it away. So it's coming towards you, push, and then it goes the other way. So you can change the direction. Your hit creates a push that changes the direction of the ball. This boy is changing the direction the yo-yo is moving by pulling up on the string. Have you ever played with a yo-yo before? You push it down and then you pull it up. You push it down. You pull it up. It's kind of like maybe if you're dribbling a ball. If you bounce a ball on the floor, you push it down and then you pull it back up. The amount of force. A big push or pull creates more force than a small push or pull. You need to use a big push to move a heavy object like a car. Look at those people. They're trying to push a car out of a snowdrift, and you have to use a lot of force to push that. But you only need a small push to move something that's light, like a feather. With a feather, you can just blow on it gently and it pushes away. What do you think? Which backpack needs a bigger pull to lift? Why do you think that? Which one of those would be harder to pull up? Oh, I see a lot of you saying this one, because this one is heavier. And so heavy things require bigger pushes and pulls. Name that force. Oh, this is like a game. Use what you have learned about pushing and pulling to answer these questions. Do you push or pull to zip up your coat? What do you think whenever you're zipping up? Ooh, I think it's a pull. If you want to open up your coat, then you push it down. Do you use a push or a pull to spin on the merry-go-round? It could be both, but usually it's a push. Do you use a push or a pull to climb a rope? Can you pretend like you're climbing something? I feel lots of pulling motions. Do you use a push or a pull to blow bubbles? It's a push. You're not breathing air in. If you took a deep breath in, you're pulling in. But if you're blowing a bubble, you push out. Do you use a push or a pull to pick an apple? Reach up and pretend to pick an apple. You pulled it towards you. You did a great job. You are a pushing and pulling pro. And then there are some words to know. Wow, we learned a lot in this book. We learned that pushes and pulls are types of forces, and we learned that you can use pushes and pulls in a lot of different ways to make things move, and you can even change the direction of something just by using a push and a pull. So you know what, my friends? I want to go outside and I want to show you something that I can use to push and pull. Something that my class made a few years ago. These kids are in 2nd grade now, but they designed something to push and pull themselves around the playground. So let's go outside and we'll talk a little bit more.
Look at this amazing car. Who do you think built this car? You know what? It was a group of kindergartners just like you. My class from a few years ago, they learned about engineers and they thought engineers sounded so cool that they wanted to become engineers themselves. And throughout the whole year, we did lots of great engineering projects. But then at the end, they said, can we build a car for the playground? That was their problem. They said, we don't have something to ride around in on the playground. Can we build something that will help us move around the playground and have more fun? And they designed and built this car together with their parents' help too. But the kids really did design and build this car. And it is shaped, or not shaped, but it's decorated like a cheetah because their class name were the Courageous Cheetahs. So Courageous Cheetahs, if you're watching right now, hi, and look, your car is still here, and kids love to play in it. So my friends, other kindergarten groups have played with this car besides the Courageous Cheetahs. And the way that they play with it, they sit inside, kind of like what Oliver is doing, and they use their feet to push themselves forward. They put their foot down on the ground, and then they push, and then the car moves forward. Now, can I fit in this car? No, I am too big. This car was not designed for Mrs. Stobbs. It was designed for kindergartners. So how can I move this car? If I put Oliver inside, how can I take him for a ride? What did you say? Did you say I could push this car? You're right, I can. And you know what? Actually, sometimes the kindergartners would push their friends around in this car. So I can push the car and then it moves. What else could I do to move this car? Did you say that I could pull it? You're right, I can. I can grab the back and I can pull it towards me. Now that's kind of hard to do. And you know what? One of our parents that helped us build the car, she was very much like an engineer because she said, now, Mrs. Stobbs, this is going to be hard for you to get in and out of the classroom whenever you take it out to the playground. So we need to put something on it that will help it move. And you know what she designed? She put a handle on the front of the car. And then that way I can lift it up and I can walk with it. And then that's a little bit easier. I can either pull it, or if I need to, I can push it. It's actually harder to push this way, but it's easier to pull. So that was a design that parent did to make it a little bit easier. Now, we wanted to test out some different pushes and pulls with this car. And this car is great to explore with pushes and pulls because it has wheels. And wheels help things move a little bit easier. So if I wanted to push this car, and I wanted to try to push it really far away, how would I push the car? Would I give the car a gentle little push? Or would I give the car a big push? What type of force would I use to move the car a long ways away? Think about that. Shout it out. I heard you guys say a big push, a big push. So let me try to give this car a big push and see how far it moves. Ready? Here we go. Look at that. Now, I'm going to pull it back towards me. And this time, I'm going to give it a little push, a gentle force, just very gentle. What do you think will happen? Will it go as far as it did the last time? I don't know. Let's watch. Oh, it barely moved at all. Now, why did the car stop? Do you know that reason? Why did a car stop? Well, have you ever heard of a word called friction? Have you heard of that? Friction is an invisible force that stops things from moving. So whenever I'm pushing this car, the wheels are going against the concrete, and the concrete is rubbing against the wheels, and eventually it stops the car. So if I had this on something slipperier, like ice, the car would probably go a lot faster. Now what about, we also talked about gravity. This car is really heavy, and so gravity is pulling down on it. And right now, if I am holding onto the car and I just let it go, is it moving at all? No, it is because it's flat right here. But what if I wanted gravity to move this car instead of me? What would I need? I would need a ramp or a slope, something higher, so then the car could be pulled down. Now I'm looking over here and I see a ramp over to this side. I'm going to push our car, nice little push, push this car over to this ramp, and I'm now going to pull it up. And I'm not going to go too far because I don't want our car to crash into this railing, but watch what happens whenever I let the car go now. Let's see what happens. Did I push the car? No, I didn't. I just let it go, and then gravity took over and pulled the car down. And then friction, it pushed against the wheels and it stopped the car from moving. Wow, so we know a little bit more about how things move and also how to stop things from moving. Now, what if I wanted to turn this car? This is something my kindergartners really had to practice with this car, because sometimes they go down the sidewalk on our playground and they come to the end and they'd have to figure out how to turn around. Now, I bet you see this steering wheel. This is a really fun steering wheel, but it's more for the kids to hold on to. It doesn't really control the wheels. In real cars, in your mom or dad's car or your grandma or grandpa's car, the wheels or the steering wheel does control the wheels of the car. So whenever you turn this way, it turns the wheels that way. This one doesn't do that. So how would I turn this car around? What do you guys think? Let me try. I'm going to push. And now I want to turn the car towards you. So I am actually still pushing with one hand, but then I'm pulling with the other hand. So I'm doing a push and a pull together. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes whenever you're making something move, you push and you pull at the same time. If you've ever spun a top before, you've ever played with a top that spins, you have to push and pull it at the same time to make it spin around in a circle. So to make things spin, you use a push and a pull. Let's watch again. I'm going to pull with this hand and push with this hand. Now what if I want to move it the other way? I have to change. So now I'm going to pull with this hand and I'm going to push with this hand. Wow. Now the reason why this works with this car is because the wheels in the front, they actually can move. They can move in circles. The wheels in the back, they can only move front and back. But the wheels in the front, let me show you. Do you see how they are spinning around in circles? They've been designed to do that. So they have a special screw in them, and they're built so that they can spin around in circles. If these wheels were the same as these wheels, it would be really tricky to spin my car around. And you might even have toy cars at home where you try to spin it and it doesn't really spin. It kind of hops over. But this car, because of that awesome design, the engineers designed it so that this could spin. Now, I want to think a little bit more about how to change direction, because we said that we can push and pull at the same time to change direction. And we also said that friction kind of changes the direction because it stops something from moving. But what would happen if I pushed this car, and maybe if I pushed it into this wall? What would happen? Would the car stop? Some of you are saying, yes, it would stop. What else might happen? Now, I don't really want to push this car into the wall because this car is so special to me and so special to a bunch of kindergartners. So instead, I'm going to push this car out of the way a little bit, and I'm going to use a ball to demonstrate this. Because a ball rolls just like wheels do. So watch what happens whenever I push this ball towards the wall. Did you see what happened? The ball was going that way, but whenever it hit the wall, it came back this way. So the ball can stop something is moving, can stop the movement, and can even change the direction. Now watch what happens whenever I push it really hard. It came back a lot farther. But what happens whenever I push it very gently? Let's try that. It really made the ball almost stop. Wow. So sometimes bumping into something can make something stop moving or change direction. So my friends, we've learned a lot about pushes and pulls, and you got to see this awesome car. So next week, we're going to work together and we're going to design something that we can move Oliver. We're going to build something with wheels, and we're going to figure out how we can move Oliver around in a really cool object, something that has wheels. So my friends, have a great week. I will see you next week, and think like an engineer.
Teaching in Room 9 is made possible with support of Bank of America, Dana Brown Charitable Trust, Emerson, and viewers like you.